Games have offered us several lifetimes worth of awesome moments. So much so that you could probably all recall that time when your dad either flipped the Monopoly board or when you beat Halo on Legendary for the first time. What is it that makes these moments in games so groundbreaking? Is it the actual events themselves, or does it have something to do with the concepts and mechanics that make those moments possible? We asked ourselves those questions as well, and that's what we want to talk about this week on the Free Play Podcast.
You are listening to the Free Play Podcast with Bubba Stallcup, Matt Warmbier, and Kate Katawaki, part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network.
What's up, nerds? My name is Bubba Stallcup. Blubba, are you kidding me?
Yeah, Blubba Stallcup.
Who put Blubba in there?
Me, I just put
Which
a little.
one are you?
I put the L. I just wanted to see if you would read it like that.
I was reading through it like I know what my name is.
Well.
But anyway, I'm the chief community nerd here at Love Thy Nerd, and you're listening to the Free Play Podcast, part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network. And join with me is our chief outreach nerd, Matt Warmbier.
What up?
And our chief social media nerd, Clay Klatablocky.
Hello.
Yeah, see, that's what it's like when you put L's and all sorts of stuff in your name.
It feels good. And for the record, I only put one L in your name, and you added like 4.
I went a little overboard. But it's been rough going, so I'm trying to get I'm blowing off a little steam here. We have been trying to record this podcast for the last 38 minutes now. And the audio and the video on my end has not been cooperating. And I'm a little salty about it, but hey, if you work at Discord, please contact me, Bubba at lovethynerd.com, and I would love to talk to you about fixing this issue. That's kind of like the opposite of a plug, isn't it? That's like
that sounds mean.
That's a little podcast nerd rage for you. But anyway, before we get too far along, Love Thy Nerd is going to Phoenix Fan Fusion. And Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we're going to Phoenix Fan Fusion. It's our next outreach.
You have to say more than that. I already said that.
The end. Let's wrap this podcast up. It's our next outreach trip. It's May 23rd to the 26th, so it's a kind of a longer convention. Most are 3 days. It's a 4-day affair. And it's sunny, blazing hot.
On the sun.
On the sun. Sunny. Phoenix, Arizona. That's like, man, May is going to be roasting.
Pack a tank top.
Hey, is May, is it like, was it like monsoon season out there in May?
I've never been to Arizona.
They get those things called...
Scorpions? Yeah,
no, those those dust
thinking of Australia.
storms.
Dust devils?
No, they're they have a special
Dust
word. I'm
bulls.
Googling it right now. It says
Like
Arizona
a
resembles
brownout?
Mars as mile-high wall of dust barrels through. So they have stuff like that happen.
You're thinking of the Mummy.
No, I'm thinking of
Mummy
Arizona.
Returns.
Yeah.
So we want to go to Phoenix Fan Fusion and be the love of Jesus to nerds and nerd culture. We're really just looking for ways to love our nerdy neighbors there. And we want you to come with us. Right now we have 3 people signed up. I'm looking for 10 total. If this interests you,
I think we can get there.
Yeah, I think it's not one we typically would think to go to, but we really think going to a comic convention, a more comic-y convention, is a good idea. Like, we don't want to be love thy tabletop games, which we do, but
yeah, we do.
If you love nerds and love comics and love fans and fusions and love the sun, you can contact me, Matt at Love Thy Nerd, or you can go to ltn.social/PhoenixFF.
There we go.
Ooh-wee.
To register.
That one just rolls off the tongue.
It really does. Or you just contact me.
You can also find all that information on lovethynerd.com. Just go to the outreach tab and it's all there.
Well, it's lovethynerd.com/
forward back dash
okay, whatever.
/ up down down. Yeah.
You'll get it.
We
eventually.
got all the things. Hey, join us at Phoenix Comic-Con. Not Comic-Con, Phoenix
No.
Fan Fusion. It
Don't
should be
get
a
us
Comic-Con.
sued,
It's
bro.
just not. Join us at Phoenix Fan Fusion. We really, really, really want you to be there. And just reach out to all the nerds and the geeks that are going to be there. We have a lot of comic book bros. We've got a podcast that's dedicated specifically to geeky, nerdy comic book things called The Pull List. So help us reach that community. So just contact Matt, like you said, Matt at lovethynerd.com for more information and to sign up to meet us on that trip. So let's move the show along real quick. What have we been playing? Matt, let's start with you. Skip right over Kate. Skip right over
I
her.
always go first.
That
I
is
knew
not
it.
true. I checked all the documents from
Well,
last
maybe you were
season,
always
and it
listed
said
first.
this.
Maybe you're
I
always
did it
listed
on purpose,
first.
though.
Who
Okay.
knows?
I saw your name, and I just swerved it.
Okay, fine. Fair enough.
Okay.
Matt, you're go.
Well, I'm still in mourning over Horepens. I've been just really trying to
Oh.
I'm sorry.
power through Red Dead.
Loving horsey heaven.
And I can tell that I'm getting closer to the end of the game. Dude and I are at full max bond. That's my new horse.
You should have
pretty
named
good.
him Dude Bro. Why'd
Can you
name
describe
Dude?
him? What does he look like?
He's
Or his name
black.
should have been not Horepens.
That's probably good.
Yeah.
He has a shorter, regular length black mane with kind of like he has like a black face that goes into white, but then back into black. Kind of this fade.
Oh.
He's pretty. He's got some some dots
Be
on
cute,
his backside. But when you're used to like a horse and its temperament, like dude just like wants to run away from me. Like I'm trying to like loot some people that got in my way, and he's like, well, I'm gonna go stand over here on the other side of this crest and wait for you there. I'm like, no, stand right next to me. I've got to hightail it out of here. And keep whistling to him. He just won't get back here. I'm like, is there a snake around here? Is there an alligator? Because I know, that spooks people and horses. There's nothing, just nothing. I just feel like I think I'm being haunted in the game. Like,
Try giving him like
Horepens is-
some carrots or apples.
I feed that horse so much, but he is still on.
Maybe you're not
what's
feeding him a
known as,
balanced enough diet. What kind of
strong.
alfalfa are you feeding him?
I'm giving him like loads of grain. I'm giving him carrots,
I just see
apples,
too much grain.
sugar cubes when he's a good boy.
Too much sugar.
Give him $1,000.
I tried that too. He holds all my stuff.
Yeah,
He
tell
holds all
him
my
he can
stuff. I'm like-
he can take 10% of the cut.
I said, "What's yours is mine," and he just like, "I'm gonna stand over here." I'm like, I just want. I've punched a couple horses in my day, but on accident. I haven't punched him yet. I would never do that. I need him and I to have a good bond.
Yeah, you don't have. It sounds like you don't have the time to create another Horepens bond with another horse, so you need
I'm
this one to go
trying.
as far as you can.
I don't know. It seems like your heart's not in it.
It's in it. I'm trying.
You just
I'm
miss
really,
Horepens too much.
I do, and it's like a rebound horse. Like I should have just walked around on foot for a while. Like I should have just like, you know what? This is my own fault. I gotta walk and think about this. But instead, like there was Tennessee, whatever his name was, Whiskey straight away that I sold him. He's gone, and I'm like, well, I have to get a new horse. I should have just
I love that you did not even give him a chance. You just straight sold him.
He was awful. His stats were so slow, and low. Like no way.
Also, like anger is part of the grieving process. So
Yeah.
It probably is. I probably should just hook him up. What do you call it? When you put a horse on a post, whatever, post him
Tie
up.
him up.
There's a-
When you park
I
it,
don't know.
park the horse.
yeah, I'm gonna
park
just
it.
park him. There's a name for it, but should just park him in a city, and I should probably just go out into the woods and just be by myself for a while, hunt and fish, and just really I need to think about what I've lost. And you see, maybe I'll come back and he'll be better. No, it's fine. It is funny. So you can pray for me, dude.
I'm not subbing.
No, I named him Dude because my I think I said this. My friend's horse
There you
in
go.
high school, he had a horse named Dude, so it's like the next thing to go to.
a real life horse.
Yeah, it was a real life horse, and I have a funny story about him.
Well,
Okay.
It's funny to me, but it wasn't funny to his mom. His mom got bit right on the boob by this horse. And I heard it was not Very pleasant. Yeah, well.
I feel bad laughing, but it's so funny.
No, it is really funny.
There are large parts of me that equally do and don't want to hear the context of that story.
I have no idea. I only just know it happened. And it wasn't fun.
No, it doesn't sound fun. Yeah, it's usually pin the tail on the donkey, not donkey bite your chest off.
Right, I'm going to tell one more quick story and we're going to move on about a horse. So my friend Shane.
Got a lot of horse stories.
I know, my friend Shane, his brother accidentally shot his eye out with a pellet gun when he was in high school. Like, it was severe, like, terrible accident. But as the years went by, it was, like, kind of a funny story. So
he shot his own eye out, or he shot the eye of a horse out?
He shot his own eye out. Hold on, I'm getting to the horse part.
I'm sorry.
He shot his own eye out. He hit the gun on the ground. It shot up at him. It shot him right in the eye, and he lost an eye. So he has a glass eye.
What?
I know, crazy, right? Hey Jeff, if you're listening.
Shout out, Jeff.
Shane and I, whenever his brother would be around, or whenever his brother would just like be mentioned, we'd be like, "Oh yeah, his brother only has one eye." Like, "Oh wow, what happened?" Like, well. He was holding an apple up for a horse, and he held it up to his eye, and the horse bit the whole apple and his eye out. And I'd be like, "You have got to be kidding me! No way!" And we're like, "No, that's not what happened." He shot it. It was like that. It was always like the funniest reaction.
Oh man, I want that to be the real story.
The real story is almost just as funny.
It's awful. He still has it in his head.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
So does it go off when he like goes through airport security and stuff?
I don't know. It's really small.
See it?
I have no idea.
They got to see it on the screen.
I have no idea.
I have so many questions.
See it.
I have so many questions.
Well, I'll try to get some answers, and I'll let you guys know next week.
Ask him if he's ever done an MRI or whatever.
I'm sure he has. He has headaches.
Well, how could they do it with that in there, though?
I don't know.
It would rip it out, wouldn't it?
It would rip it out.
Then probably just like a normal scan, like a CAT scan. I don't know.
I feel like
you need to
you're
be
asking all the wrong
You need
questions.
to ask him. He's your friend. Ask him. Write all this down and ask him.
All right, you write it down. I'll see what I can do.
Just send him a link to this podcast. It'll be a whole lot easier.
Deal. So I've been playing that and a game called Hermetica.
Oh, that's right, Red Dead.
Yeah, Hermetica, which is kind of a chess-style-esque type game. We're trying to get your either moon to the sun horizon or your sun to the moon horizon. You have these little elements you can move around. They all have their kind of special, unique movement and powers. So, fun game. If you follow me on social medias, you can look at a picture of it. It's cool.
Yeah, it was a game we picked up as a review copy from PAX South.
I need to play it more. That's what I need to do.
That's a good idea.
It was really fun. I got stomped.
You did?
Absolutely stomped. Bye, Matt.
It's my game, I guess. It's my jam.
Well, yeah. No, it is your game. That's why it lives at your house and not at my house.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
So, Kate, what have you been playing?
Where is the game? Hold on. I wanted to look to see if they had retweeted you on your tweet. Yes, they did. Everyone, he's been retweeted by the people who made the game.
It's a big day for the both of us, Matt.
Congratulations. Really and I have been
Horepens and dude.
Too soon. Yeah.
Can we get like merch made with Horepens on it?
Yes,
absolutely.
So
100s we can.
So someone make it and then
we send like Redbubble.
And you pay for it.
Yeah, we should definitely. These are some really good ideas for merch. I mean, we have a bunch of stuff for this podcast, right? That we could just, inside jokes and all that mess that we could just throw up there and people can put it on a body pillow.
Easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Or a pair of tights.
That's
anyway, Kate, what are you playing?
Like
Anyways, I have been playing a game called The Flame in the Flood, which...
Did you just make that up?
No. I was going to say, have either of you heard of it, but I guess not.
I think I've only heard of it because of you.
Well, I just said it just now.
Yeah, I was today years old.
No, I thought you said like in a text or something, or
maybe. Anyways,
you're thinking of Through the Fire and the Flames on Guitar Hero.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I have heard of that one.
Well, this game is a roguelike survival adventure game from these indie developers called the Molasses Flood. Interesting name. And it's about a girl and a dog on a raft. And there's been, I don't know if it's a post-apocalyptic kind of flood. So you're navigating this raft down a river and it's procedurally generated. So camps and places to fix your boat and all this stuff just kind of pop up and you pull in and hope you can get resources and stuff. And it's also a permadeath game, which I didn't know. So I kept ramming my boat into... I was stuck. I was trying to get out of a place where I'd pulled in my boat and it shoved me in the corner. I'm like, what the heck? You can't really steer that good because you're pulled by the currents. So I just kept ramming the shore over and over and over again. And then my boat fell apart and me and my dog fell into the water and died. And I thought, oh, we'll just pick up, right where we left off. No, it started all over. So that's great.
Was your dog gone?
Yeah, we both fell in the water.
He didn't make it, though?
He didn't make it, no. It said
you guys should not have animals in video games. This is what I'm realizing.
Whatever. I'm not getting into this. I'm good with those animals, all right? This was not my fault.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a permadeath. I didn't know the dog would die like that. So, I mean, you have a set of needs like hunger and thirst and whatever, all kinds of these needs because it's a survival game. So you have to try and gather stuff from different places to fulfill those needs and like temperature. Your dog carries a pack and you can put stuff in there. It's challenging.
Sounds cool. How much was it?
I got it for $7 on Switch.
Really?
It was on sale.
Is this still on sale?
I don't know, but I always jump on a sale.
Fair enough.
I almost always do. And then I watch the video and I'm like, meh, 25 cents is just a little bit too much for that game.
25 cents.
There was a game that was like 59 cents the other day and I almost got it, but then I...
Yeah, well, this game came out on Switch in October 2017, so it's been out for a while. I think that's part of the cheapness, but yeah, I got it for $7.
I have seen this game. I almost picked it up before. I watched some videos on it.
The soundtrack is super cool. It's like folk rock.
It's like an 8-bit, like 16-bit style game. Is that right?
No.
32 Sega Genesis.
I don't know how many
32X.
bits. I don't know how many bits. It's made with Unreal.
Double it and double it again.
So,
Sega CD, Nintendo 64.
I don't know. It's
Okay.
a really interesting art, though. It's just it has a cool feel, has a cool vibe. I just don't like that I keep dying.
Well, good.
I'm trying. I got to the point where now I can pick which checkpoint I want to start from. But the last checkpoint is when my boat has like 2% damage left. So if I touch anything,
Because you've been ramming into it,
it kills me. So I'm a little bit irritated.
Yeah,
Did
stop
your dog-
ramming into stuff.
Was your dog back then?
What?
Did you get another dog?
Yeah, you could pick between two dogs.
Not
And I
enough
picked
options.
the same one. They're very cute and they hold your stick that has a fire on it.
Can you name them?
No, I was kind of bummed that you couldn't name them.
pass.
They're already named. It's like, how hard would it have been to just let you name the dog?
I was going to ask you to name one Horepens, but
No, she would name
names-
it Finn.
Well, I was going to name it Finn. But then-
Horepens.
Finn pens.
Horp
Finn
fins.
pens.
But the names are Aesop or Daisy. So
Like Psalm of
I
Asaph.
clearly pick
Aesop's
Daisy.
Fables. Yeah.
Aesop's
I
Fables.
picked Daisy. So it's a good game. It's something out of my what I normally play. I'm trying to do more of that. So I'm just gonna keep playing it. Try to get through. I'm in region 2 and I think there's 10 regions. It is a really cool idea. It's really fun. So I'm just trying to step it up this season on this podcast.
I'm
proud of you.
Well, you're starting off with
$7.
your $7 game. Yeah, I love it.
You're beating us. I've been playing Red Dead for forever.
Yeah, I think maybe the two of you should just count how many animals
We
perish
Oh.
in your games. I don't want to say that you kill them.
No,
that's not
we
really
would
fair, 'cause in
never.
Red
Yeah.
Dead, you're hunting animals. I have to hunt them.
Well, how about animals under your control?
Okay.
Companions. Yeah.
All right. I can get behind that.
I'm not behind it. I still
we'll
I'm
think
count
sorry. We've already signed a
Yeah.
contract.
Yeah.
Did that make you feel better?
It didn't make me feel worse, that's for sure.
I wasn't talking to you. Anyways.
Well, I answered anyway. You were looking right at me.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, well, that's your opinion. Well, I've been playing a lot of games. Again, I play a game a day. If you guys follow me on Insta,
Blah,
hashtag
blah,
Bubba
blah,
plays
blah,
a
blah,
game a day. You say blah, blah, like
Blah,
you don't
blah, blah.
repost everything I post.
Because I told you that I would help you with
True.
Twitter. That's why.
Yeah, well, that's
Well,
your
my
fault.
Twitter following has gone up like 20, maybe 25.
See?
Nope, 32.
Mine
Congratulations.
has gone up significantly since I've started this thing, but that's not why I'm here. I was here for the plug, and now I'll move on. So, but I am playing a game a day, which is helping with this segment because I always have something to talk about instead of being like, oh well, last season I didn't get a chance to play anything this week. I will always have had something that I played. And one of the games I played, we talked about on Beard Bros. And if you're not watching Beard Bros, you need to be watching Beard
Never
Bros.
heard of her.
Oh,
Yeah, same. We stream live every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern-ish on our Facebook page at facebook.com/lovethynerd. And you can go and follow that and like all that mess. But we talked about a game from Skybound Games and Druid City Games made by the one and only, maybe there might be another, James Hudson. And this is a game called Guardian's Call. And it is a bluffing game very much in the same-ish vein of Sheriff of Nottingham, which I'm sure a lot of people will be familiar with. And whereas with Sheriff of Nottingham, you're trying to get things past ye old sheriff, and then the sheriff passes around and each person gets a chance to become sheriff, there is still a social deduction, or at least a peer-to-peer deduction, in which you're trying to understand, are they being truthful with you, or are they trying to get contraband through, or whatever. In this game, it is you are always the same character that you start out with at the beginning of the game. And you're trying to do a little bit of set collection. So, Matt, if I said, hey, I have 2 shields for you,
I
and you
say bull Guardian's Call, you do.
you said a Horepens feces, you do.
Yeah.
And if I actually did have 2 shields, then I would get to keep those and they would go into my tableau, which is just what's laid out in front of me.
Sounds fancy.
If you guessed correctly, if you said no, you don't, and I didn't, I was trying to send you 2 other things, then you would get to take those cards into your tableau. And so you're trying to gain different sets, and each set has a different buff that it gives you when it comes to scoring at the end of the game, or at the other time where we can score. So there's actually 2 scoring times. Not going to get into the minutia of it. We talked about it on Beard Bros, like I said, but there are multiple scoring times so that you don't fall all the way behind. So, but I played that, loved it, played it with 3 people who had never played before at our game night at our church on Friday, and they liked it. And they really liked that they were getting to play a game that wasn't necessarily out yet, that not everybody had a chance to get. So that's really cool. They like being a part of that. But the game itself was fun, so it was, you find yourself not trusting people that you love. So I was playing with my wife, and I just knew that she was lying to me. And sometimes she was, and sometimes she wasn't. And it was very aggravating to me to not be able to read.
She seems pretty good at that kind of game.
She's not, but
No.
she gets you thinking one way because she's unsure about how to play the game. Because she's like, I don't know how to lie. And so you think that she is lying.
Don't
and
lie to
she's
me.
just laughing hysterically. But we played that, and like I said, really enjoyed that game. And I thought that I was just going to get smoked because I wasn't getting a whole lot of cards into my tableau. But if you've played that game or if you've seen it, I had a bunch of shields, which gave me tons of points. So I kind of lucked out and ended up winning that game, which does not happen very often. So I got to mark that in my BG stats as a dub.
Congratulations.
I'm proud of you.
As a dub. And then before that, I actually had a chance a couple days before that to play Architects of the West that I got in. And Architects of the West Kingdom, if you guys know that is probably one of the best to date, one of the best worker placement games out there. Definitely one of the best that I've ever played. And everybody has a chance to play on a bunch of different areas on the board, and you can play. You get to play one per turn, one of your workers out there. You put a meeple out there, you collect whatever the resource it is that it says it gives you, but then you also can't get that worker back until you or another player collects them and sends them to jail. So it's this really interesting mechanic of you're trying to race to the most victory points by the time all of these buildings are built. But then you're also like managing how many meeple you have out there versus like what your next move is going to be. It's a really hard game to describe without actually seeing it happen because there's so much going on the board. But I got a chance to play it solo because Anna was sick and didn't have time to sit down or the mental capacity really to sit down and learn a new game.
Is she okay?
She is doing better as far as like that being sick has gone, but now she's come down with another thing that we're trying to work through. So yeah, we hope she ends up being okay. She went and got it looked at. So, but she is somewhat mobile now, which is good. So yeah, if you guys are praying type, just be praying for my wife that she gets unsick. That would be really, really, really.
Say
amazing.
her name.
Anna. Her name is Anna Miriam Stallcup.
There we go. Now I know who to pray for.
That is my
I
wife.
didn't before.
Yeah, it's an unspoken. But yeah, so I had a chance to play not just those games, but those are two of the games that I've played. And a lot of times I don't have somebody else to play with because it may not be like 9 or 10 until I'm sitting down to play a game. But another game. This is it, last one. Hold on to your butts, okay? I got to play On Tour. My copy of On Tour came in from the ye old Kickstarter. And this is a game by BoardGameTables.com. Not a sponsor unless they want to be. They make some pretty dope bags and also legitimately board game tables. But this is the company, Matt, that we got the bag from at Gen Con.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Board game tables. So anyway, this is a roll and write game where you're going to roll some dice, you're going to flip some cards, and you have this map in front of you of the nifty 50 United States. Actually, I think it's the contiguous 48. And so anyway, what you're trying to do is you're going to get a combination of the numbers on the dice. So you're rolling 2 dice, and if you got a 4 and a 5, then you actually have 2 numbers. You have 45 and 54. And then there are going to be 3 cards that are out there that you have to decide. Do you want to put it, if it says Montana, do you want to put it in Montana, or do you want to put it in the north, or do you want to put it in one of the other card slots? And you can put both of those numbers in 2 spots. And the whole thing is that you're trying to connect the longest route, really, that you can do. If you've ever played a roll and write game, you're playing against yourself, pretty much. Like, these games are infinitely scalable. So if you want to play single player, you can play single player just as easily as if you played with 32 other people. Like,
dang.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, because each person gets a player board, and we're all playing. It's like bingo. It's basically bingo. A roll and write is. Everybody is playing personally off of a communal roll or whatever. So if you've ever played like Railroad Inc. or Welcome to, those are 2 other very popular roll and write games. Like, you have a communal dice roll that everybody plays on their personal board with. So basically bingo. Yeah, so I mean, you can play with as many people as you want to or as few people as you want to. And that's just, it's a really good thing about roll and write games. Especially if you're trying to get like new people into playing games, a roll and write is just a perfect butter smooth way to do that, because there's not a bunch of mechanics that they have to learn. All they have to do is know, okay, when this happens, you're going to draw this thing here, and like that's it. So Welcome to is one that's on my short list, and I'm trying super hard to get that into my library. But I already have I have the blue edition of Railroad Inc. And I also, like I said, just got in On Tour, both of which you can buy extra player boards for, and then more people can play with you. So I'll be bringing some of those, Matt, next time you and I are hanging out together. So just be ready for that. All right, so those are just a few of the games that we're playing, and we hope that you will share with us the games that you are playing. You can hit us up on Twitter at Freeplay Podcast or at Love Thy Nerd. We would love to know the games that you're playing, and maybe we'll talk about them here on this podcast because maybe we need to be playing those games too. That's the whole reason we do this segment, is so we can share with you games that we're playing that you might not have known about, and also we can know about the things that you're playing. So hit us up on social media, whether it's on this Facebook post or it's on this podcast page at lovethynerd.com/freeplay. Bring up the latest episode. You can tell us what you're playing there. Or on our Facebook group, just search Love Thy Nerd Community inside of Facebook, or you can let us know on Twitter at Freeplay Podcast. Moving the show right along, Kate, why don't you take us into our main topic for the day?
The main topic is...
professional drummer, ladies and gentlemen.
That sounds... Clausen, cut that out.
Don't
Ooh, I can't.
cut.
No, please do not.
Can't cut, won't cut.
So that's a good slap in the
Okay, the
desk.
topic is groundbreaking aspects of games. Truly special stuff. Meaning... let's talk about some aspects of video games or tabletop games that we consider to be groundbreaking, innovative, genre-changing, etc. Whatever other words could go with those ones.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I told you guys to think about this. Hopefully.
I did my very best to do
You
it.
asked. You did not tell us.
Okay,
Well, she
okay,
told
fine.
me to.
Oh,
She told me
fine,
to.
Fine. But really, something that's groundbreaking in a game can be a narrative, aspect of a narrative. It could be a game mechanic. It could be an art style. It could be the way they implemented music if it's a video game. There's so many different things, and gaming is constantly changing, and we're seeing a lot of new, exciting things. So let's talk about things that have been groundbreaking, just to us personally, things that we've considered to be groundbreaking.
Why don't you lead us off, Kate? Like when you were thinking about this, what was that game that was coming to mind for you?
There were a couple video games for me because that's where I'm most comfortable with thinking about groundbreaking things. One thing was in BioWare games. You know, they kind of are the pioneers of narrative with choice. Like, that was a huge thing, in my opinion, at least. I'm sure there's other games that have choice implemented, but the way that BioWare did that in their games, in Mass Effect, in Dragon Age, I think was groundbreaking. And now you see a lot of games that are like, your choices matter as part of the branding and marketing. And I think that is mostly because due to BioWare and how they kind of built their franchises around that whole framework of narrative. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that definitely does. I haven't played any of those games, so I couldn't tell you if they're groundbreaking or not. But I'm guessing that they probably are.
I mean, to me at least, when I played them, I was like, this is awesome. The fact that you make a choice that could affect the outcome at the very end. It's just awesome. And a cool
It's like
thing.
real life.
I know, it's exactly like real life, and it just makes you kind of slow down in game and really weigh things out.
Because your choices matter.
Because
Just
your
like real life.
choices matter. Just like real life TM.
Right. Yeah, write that down somewhere.
So I don't know. That was just one thing. Another thing that stood out to me was for example, this might be a spoiler, but I mean, this game's been out for a while, so
You've
sorry.
already spoiled it for me. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, earlier, because I told you one of my
Yep.
examples.
Yeah, I know. Spoiler alert.
In The Last of Us, when you're playing as Joel for majority of the game, and they kept it a surprise that you got to play as Ellie for any part
Not
of
Joel
the game.
Osteen. We just need to not
Oh,
that.
you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
that. You don't.
Not-
You
Or
don't know
is that the spoiler?
Yeah, he's Joel Osteen. That's the spoiler.
What?
Live your best apocalyptic life now.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Got
great. No, but just the kind of changing perspective by doing a character change in the middle of a game, especially a game like that. It's just, people were talking about that for ages, and trying to not spoiler the game for other people, but it was just such a cool thing. And now you see that a lot in games. So like, oh, let's just change the character that you play as. Like, that'll be cool.
Yeah, they just recently did that with Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I won't tell you
happens
who, but
a lot with Spider-Man.
It happens.
And I just experienced that in Pokemon Go. Pokemon
Who'd you
Let's Go
become?
Eevee, I mean.
Who are you now?
No, I just got to control Eevee separate
Oh, okay, gotcha.
and walk across a pipe.
Yeah, it happens in Super Smash Bros. All the time.
Just walk
Yeah,
across
Mario
the
every
Kart.
match. Yeah.
Also Mario Kart. Well, no, I mean,
Double dash.
character switching in deep narrative games, I guess. And I know,
Yeah, that's
again,
cool.
disclaimer, they're probably not the first to do it. But the way that they executed it, the way that I personally experienced it, was what I would consider to be a groundbreaking thing.
Oh, yeah, I think you're going to be hard-pressed to find the genesis of almost any of these groundbreaking things. So like if you were to say, oh, I think that first-person shooters were groundbreaking, which is a legitimate thing. I mean, we wouldn't have Call of Duty right now if it weren't for games like Doom and Wolfenstein. And...
Oh, I was going to say Bond.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it obviously did not start that trend, but I think that, that was the first console hit for first-person shooters. But I mean, you can go all the way back with these games and these game types. Like, we're going to say things that might be groundbreaking are like hero shooters, since we're talking about first-person shooters, or MOBAs, or Battle Royale games. Absolutely. Yeah, that's the absolute hotness right now. And if you think Battle Royale, you would think, oh, yeah, Fortnite. Well, Fortnite wasn't the first game to do that. I mean, like but that's the one that catches all the press. So, I mean, I think that you could almost look at any kind of aspect of gaming and say that it was groundbreaking in one, way, shape, or form. Gran Turismo was groundbreaking as far as like, merging hyper realistic at the time and even now with racing. So it's, I think every aspect of gaming is groundbreaking. You look at games like That Dragon Cancer. Talk about storytelling.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hitting you right in the feels. Like there is a bunch of stuff. Final Fantasy for turn-based combat. Like there is a bunch of things out there that you could pick out of each genre of games that it's groundbreaking with. But I don't know that we'll ever necessarily be able to say this was definitively the genesis of XYZ,
For me, I was trying to think of both video games and tabletop games. And since we haven't mentioned any tabletop games yet, a few that come to mind, and they're obviously, like Bubba was saying, they're not probably the first ones to do it, but they are probably the ones that kind of rebirthed the tabletop gaming. And you probably, just me saying that, can probably think of them like Settlers of Catan, Ticket to Ride, Dominion. These games kind of all brought a different new mechanic into their games that, for whatever reason, it worked. I mean, maybe people were tired of playing Life and Candyland and Axis and Allies. Not
I used to love
not
Candyland.
Everybody, but
can only play so much Monopoly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these games came, I'm guessing, at the right time, or they struck a chord with the right people. And looking at it now, like oh wow, you're getting resources and you're placing some roads, or you're placing trains. Like it's not anything huge, but really a lot of games have built off of those type of game styles. Just doing those things. In Dominion, it's just this whole deck building card game. And I mean, there's so many deck builders out there, and there's a lot of deck builders that do it better now. Clank, Harry Potter, I mean, they really owe it to games like Dominion to be able to sell really probably all the games on my shelf and Bubba's shelf and Kate's small shelf. Needed these games to really to get this thing going. And then I was even thinking, like, as far as video games, the original Legend of Zelda, like that was one of the first open world games where you could kind of just go and do whatever you wanted to do, and it didn't make sense. But again, a lot of these open world games we play now, like we owe it to that game. And what was the game on Atari that the guy put his name into it?
Adventure.
Yeah, that was probably the first one. So the Adventure and then Legend of Zelda did a little bit better and a little bit more. So we really owe those games. Like those are revolutionary. Those are groundbreaking. Those were kind of set the new standard for gaming.
Yeah, I mean it's a ladder, right? I mean it's never just like, hey, this is the only game that's ever done this. So there is this stair step effect, and everybody, you got to give credit to where credit is due, right? You got to say, oh, thank you Monopoly for making board games
money
acceptable, yeah, acceptable in the home, and for making it quote unquote family friendly, because without Monopoly, we wouldn't have games like Scythe or Catan or new hotness like Root or Wingspan or any of these things. We wouldn't have these games that we have today because of that. And now I think that there are new things. Wingspan being one of them.
I love that game.
Yeah, and also I think that just the engine building in it is a really, really cool thing. It's not groundbreaking, but I was talking earlier about roll and writes. Like those are starting to really pick up a lot of steam, in the tabletop community, and I think we're going to see more and more of them. We know somebody who's working on one right now. With to kind of redo an older game that they had as part of their launch titles when they started their company. So, like, gaming is cyclical. People see the fad that's going on, and then they jump on the fad, which I'm not mad at that, because if it's a good enough fad, I want to be a part of it.
And it comes back around.
Yeah.
Even better.
What's old is new.
Nothing new under the sun. So like when we teach, when I taught, I wanted to play Scythe. That was my end goal. I taught Risk, and then I taught Settlers of Catan, and then we played Scythe, because I think those were the two feed-in games to Scythe. So
that's a smart one. I haven't played a full game of Risk, I think, ever. Don't tell anybody.
Well,
our
secret.
I haven't.
What?
Yeah, big shocker there that I have not. It's just interesting to look at. I forgot where I saw this whole idea of groundbreaking games and being like, how many are there left before all the ideas are gone? And it's like, well, I don't know if that's. I mean, maybe there will be a point where there's no good ideas and we're reinventing old ideas, which is what a lot of it's based on. But innovation is what every industry relies on and what every industry does. And I think games just continue to get better and better, and because of whatever was groundbreaking with the generation or the game before. So,
right, we're not all playing Mancala here.
Mancala's not a game, okay?
By the way, no. I saw a really cool thing of Mancala where it looked way more like a tabletop game.
Well, send it to us.
There was another mechanic thing added to it that looked.
Just use your LTN card, buy us a couple copies, send it our way.
Well, we played a Mancala-esque game at PAX South, Matt. You and I did.
Look, it's on Board Game
actually, that was fun.
Geek. Mancala is on Board Game Geek.
Yeah,
well, I'm not surprised.
What do they know?
It says a learning curve 0, easy.
Yeah.
Well, Bubba and I played a Mancala style game. I'm not sure we can say much about it, but
we signed an NDA.
Then don't sign. Ooh, those are serious. You don't say
with our eyes.
I signed the air. I signed the air.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, Kate, was there anything else that you were thinking about, as far as groundbreaking?
Not really. I just wanted to see, with you guys, what were games that stuck out to you as, oh man, when I experienced this mechanic or this particular thing that really blew my mind as being amazing about a game.
Yeah,
that was really the point of it.
I think that I've played a lot of games that I can really see or kind of feel the shift, and we're seeing kind of a rise in the tabletop world of asymmetrical gameplay, which is everyone has their own specific win condition. Sometimes movement and actions are completely different. You're playing against a bunch of people, but really you're just trying to fulfill your win condition. So that I think we're seeing a rise in that. One of the best examples I can think of is Root. That is an asymmetrical game. But also, maybe you've played Villainous. Villainous is an asymmetrical game as well. And we talked about a bunch of different things. I mentioned roll and rights. We talked about worker placement. Like these mechanics in games and tabletop that we talk about, each one has its genesis somewhere. And I don't know. I think that I don't know what the next big thing is in video games. Right? It's battle royale. I mean,
which
down.
I don't really get it. My
for now
self. That's just not how I prefer to game, which is fine. Like, I'm not saying that it's bad that battle royale exists. I just don't really. It's not really my thing.
I just hate it. Right?
I just hate everything about it and wish it would go away. No, that's not true. It's just, I don't know.
I mean, it's creeping into everything. Really, it is.
Yeah.
Like even if a game is not a battle royale game, it'll add a battle royale mode into it so that it can hang and be be hot with the kids. So.
And like all mobile games have some aspect of Candy Crush somewhere within. It's there if you just have to look.
Speaking of Candy Crush, I'm sending you guys an invite real fast.
Got to get those challenges, right? I got you.
Yep, that's right.
Yep. Words with friends.
Oh
man, I don't know. I think that I like to follow the trends. I like to be playing what other people are playing. And if I'm like, oh, you should try this game that nobody likes, and I'm the only one in the world that likes it, it's really hard to get people to play with you. So, following trends and following what's popular, there's a lot of merit to that.
Yeah, I would say so. You get to experience a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, specifically with like Wingspan. It's not a very enticing theme. Birdwatching,
well, I think it is.
It's not like, ooh, man, I got to play that birdwatching game. It's very beautiful. It's very, very elegant.
I was thinking about that game the other day because Steven and I have legit been birdwatching out behind my house.
Your old grandma and grandpa.
Well, now there's some water back there since it rained. And we've been using these nice binoculars Steven bought because he wants to go hunting. And we've noticed some rare birds out there on the back. Like one came from Europe. It was like some kind of goose breed. And there was only
check
one.
Its passport?
No, but I looked at it on Wikipedia.
Like those stamps you get, like a sticker stamps you usually get on like luggage. It has the same thing.
Let's see. Gray goose, Europe, orange bill.
Orange bill, Grey Goose European style.
Nice.
Look, here's a picture of it. Well, I guess you
can't. I can't. No one can. Actually,
oh, the gray lag goose. Here,
terrible.
Look. Was this in the game?
Material.
No. This goose is like really, really rare here. And I thought, this is just like that game those guys are always talking about. I'm doing it in real life.
But that bird, I'm doing it. I'm collecting eggs.
It's my chickens have started. Oh, I already just said that.
One of the things that I think about with Wingspan that I have just I don't want to even say it's a negative. It just disturbs me is that eggs are currency. You collect.
We're the snakes.
You collect eggs and then you use your babies to buy things. It's kind of the same problem I have with like Pokemon Go, where you have to annihilate the Pokemon in order to get candy so that you can purchase things.
Yep, that's this one. It makes me feel weird.
Yeah. So
like going back to animal welfare, since we were talking about Horepens at the beginning.
Yeah. we do love animals. I promise. I bought.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah, I bought Wingspan with my own monies. So, well, guys, I think that's gonna do it for this discussion. Why don't you let us know what you think about different aspects of gaming? What's kind of popular and what's not? Like, are there groundbreaking things that we didn't talk about? I'm sure that there are. And if you can tell us, hey, this is groundbreaking and here's an example of it, maybe we'll feature it, I don't know, Kate, on socials. We'll tweet it out.
Yeah, well, like, I just want to know what kind of moments have people had in games where they were like, this is special stuff right here.
Yeah. We don't know what the secret sauce is. And you got to share it.
No, but it hits everybody different. Like, I think Assassin's Creed 3 is special stuff that goes against the majority of the world.
Yeah, well, I'll play it when it hits Switch, so... But that's gonna do it for this episode of the Free Play Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email us, freeplay@lovethynerd.com, and we would love to answer any and all questions that you have. Also, you can check us out on the social media. Please hit us up at Love Thy Nerd or at Free Play Podcast, just on all of them, their socials. We got all the things. So that's Twitter, Facebook, Insta. If you can't find us, just search at Love Thy Nerd, and that is definitely on all the things. Also, be sure to check us out on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube, and really anywhere else that podcasts can be found. If you can't find us, let me know, and I will get us on the thing. And if you're not already a part of the Love Thy Nerd Facebook group, make sure that you do it. All you got to do is go to facebook.com and search for Love Thy Nerd Community. We would love for you to be a part of our community and hang out with all of the great nerds that we have on the online. Once again, my name is Bubba Stallcup.
And my name is Matt Warmbier.
I'm Kate Katawaki.
Oh, man. That's going to do it for this episode of the Free Play Podcast. And guys, if nobody tells you this week, I promise that it's true, that Jesus loves you, nerds.
You have been listening to the Free Play Podcast with Bubba Stallcup, Matt Warmbier, and Kate Katawaki, part of the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network. Be sure to rate and review the show and share on all the social media.
Are you kidding me?